would like to express my opinion about the case study 1, 2, and 3. So for the case study 1, the problem is students memorize dialogue but cannot communicate. So the question is, what function of materials that is not fulfilled? My answer, in my opinion, the function of materials that is not fulfilled is the communicative function and facilitating real language use function. In this case, the textbooks only support memorization, not meaningful communication. So according to the material development principles, materials should be provide authentic language input, encourage interaction, and promote communicative competence. So the missing function is material as a facilitator of communicative competence. Okay, so for the case study 2, the question is, why did adaptation improve motivation? So my answer is adaptation improved motivation because the material became more relevant to the student's life and more authentic. The real language from YouTube, maybe, and more interactive and multimodal. So multimedia increases students' exposure to real pronunciation, expressions, and context. This makes learning more meaningful and less monotonous, which naturally increases in motivation and participation. So for the case study 3, the problem is students have a low attention span and lose interest quickly because of the material is a grammar heavy worksheet. So the question is, how should the material match the learner characteristic? So my answer is, there's a function that is not fulfilled in this case, which is the motivational function and the developmental appropriateness function. In this case, the grammar-heavy worksheet does not match with the student characteristic. So the material for young learners should be adapted to their age, attention span, and learning style in order to maintain engagement and support effective learning.
Hello, my name is Putri Rizkyantina Rianto, and here's are my opinion about the study cases. So for the first study case is what function of materials is not fulfilled. So the materials are failing as a source of language input for communication and as a tool for practice of actual language use. In this case, the material seems to favor more memorization over interactive communication. Next, for the second study case, why did the adaptation improve motivation? Is because by aiding digital platforms and videos, the teacher fulfilled the motivation function of ELT materials. This case demonstrates the importance of being flexible. And for the last study case, ELT materials are meant to be a source of motivation, but the heavy grammar worksheets for young learners ignore their developmental need for meaningful and engaging content. To match learner characteristics, the materials can use from worksheets to games, flashcards, or audio visuals. After I discussed with Aska, here's are the results of our discussion. Overall, these three cases demonstrate that the effectiveness of language learning depends on the alignment between the materials, function, the environmental context, and the learner's characteristics. Materials should not be viewed simply as a collection of information, but rather as a dynamic pedagogical tool. Main problem in case study 1 is the material's failure to fulfill its communicative function. Materials must provide scaffolding that allows students to transition from memorization to language use through task context contextualized to their local environment.
And Case 2, Urban Senior High School, demonstrates that material adaptation through digital media such as YouTube is effective because it fulfills emotional engagement and provides rich language exposure. In conclusion, adaptation increases motivation not merely due to technological sophistication, but because the materials become relevant, authentic, and multimodal. Teachers' flexibility in integrating external resources makes English no longer feel like a rigid school subject, but rather a living global communication tool. In case number 3, elementary school, the failure of grammar-heavy worksheets emphasizes the importance of motivational function age appropriateness. Young learners require materials that are meaningful and engaging. Integrated perspective. Material development should prioritize how students learn over what they must learn. For children, language acquisition is more effective through physical activities, games, and visual supports rather than through heavy cognitive loads of grammar instruction.